Hi. So this is more of a test video. I don't have a name for the channel yet, and I've been meaning to get into content, and I should really probably start off with my name. You can, I guess, call me Kash. I mean, I used many other names in the past. Like, I do have, the Big Man in the City channel, but I feel like this content that I want to start creating is going to lean more towards gaming instead of like food and other stuff, which I've done in the past. So, in my competitive, I guess, card game history, I was a really big Yu-Gi-Oh player, but I've since stopped playing that, and thanks to a friend who introduced me to Flesh and Blood this year, and started having me play this past May. I've really grown to like the game, and I think it's really fun. And I've been having an enjoyable time going to tournaments on the weekly basis, daily even sometimes, and really enjoying myself, meeting new people, making new friends, and just having a great time. I feel like this game has what I missed about Yu-Gi-Oh in the past, where you really go back and forth with an opponent all the way down to the wire. You never, you just have it most of the time. It really, you know, comes down to inches, life by life towards the end, which I find really, really fascinating. So let me get into the deck I want to show today, and this is going to be a part of content that I want to make on a regular basis. So I go to tournaments, maybe or local tournaments in New York a few times a week, and I mostly play in person. I mean, I've tested, I guess, some ideas just on the felt table, but I don't really have a setup to, play on Talishar right now. And, I don't mind it. I don't mind playing in person. I feel like in person is really where I get to test my mental and test my ideas and see if whether or not I made, the right choices. And I started off playing, well, my friend gave me his Prism deck, and that was really interesting. That was the first deck I ever played, and I was just really confused at first, not knowing what to do or anything. And since May, I feel like I've come a long way, and I plan to go even farther. I know this is National Weekend, and I haven't had the chance to been able to go to National. I did go to the Pro Tour, and that was really fun. Once again, I really want to thank my friend. He's a really great guy, and without him, I wouldn't have this great, fun game to play. And so the deck I want to show everyone today is my Benji deck, in which when I learned about this hero, I thought he was really interesting, especially because his effect where you can't block from hand, and his second effect, which gives another card, another attack action card, if your first one hits, if attack action hits, your next attacking is +1, and that's really powerful. And I think the Benji is really powerful stuff. I'm pretty sure other people know how powerful he is. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty late to the game, but it's fun. There's not too many people playing Benji in New York City. There was this one person, but he recently put his Benji away, so I feel like I'll carry the torch for Benji for moving forward. Oh, that's so bright. Here you go. Benji's in the light. There you go. And I'll show you my equipment loadout. So I have Kadachi and Kadachi, and they're pretty staple. Attack for ones. If there's a 0 cost in your pitch zone, you could go again, and they get the job done for little pokes. The only thing is that they can be blocked from hand by your opponent, but most of the time they don't block, and that I've noticed. But also sometimes it could be a liability, especially if you don't want them cycling in the first turn, if you do attack with it. So I might not even attack with Kadachi if I don't have to against certain opponents. But they only have one, and with Benji's effect, it come in for 2, and some other cards effect I have in my deck can make them come in for 2 as well. if need be. So outside of Kadachi's, I also run Zephyr Needles. So I haven't tried too many games with double Zephyr Needle. I'd like to, but I really like Zephyr Needle. At first, I was like, nah, no Zephyr Needle, because its ability is when if it's defended by a card with greater defense than its attack, it gets destroyed into the combat chain, and you don't want to be down a weapon, especially that you might need. But after playing a few, I'm about to not mind throwing my Zephyr Needle wildly, and if it gets popped, it gets popped. But like what I've learned, especially from the previous Benji player, that sometimes you might need to throw it to get them to drop a card from hand, because most of the time with Benji, they will come back at you with a full suite of cards from hand because they didn't, get the ability to block, and then you got to block that, and then it could get difficult, especially if they blocked you with armor to keep and maintain tempo while you're playing. And so sometimes my loadout is probably going to be Harmonized Kadachi and Zephyr Needle, and that's just fine most of the time. So that way, like, if during the course of the game, if my Zephyr Needle does break, I still have Kadachi to come in to, provide some damage if need be. And against Wizard, especially today, as I'll talk into the games that I've had, I run Arcane Lantern, and I use Arcane Lantern, Zephyr Needle, and this actually was great. I found it ran perfectly, and I didn't have any problems. And I was able to throw my Zephyr Needle multiple times into the Wizard. I, got it to pump for 4 and pump for 3. And I think even I was able to shoot it for a 2, and it was fine. I was never in a moment where I was afraid that it will pop and I have no more weapon. But like, it doesn't matter, towards the end, because like the games go by so fast, is that like you might not even miss it, honestly. And the Arcane Lantern really come in clutch, because most people come in with AB3, and I don't let up on Wizard. I come in with AB4, and I would come in with AB5 if I could, but AB4 really did the trick this time, and I'm really happy about that. And then the rest of my equipment suite right now is breaking scales, pretty standard. I don't have that many combo cards in my deck, but it'll give them +1, and it'll block for 1. And I'm thinking about getting a Shuko, Tiger Strike Shuko, just to get that extra block too. And I still have to learn how to work around Shuko's ability, where it gives your other 2 or cost 2 attack or lower action card +1, which could be detrimental, because I don't want to be in a situation where I have to come in for 3 and it sort of messes up, my whole entire game plan. I have Vest of the First Fist, which I used to run both Vest and Blood Dry Barricade, just in case, to see a difference. And I'm like, Vest is just fine. I know Blood Dry Barricade, you can pop it at any moment, and Vest has to be when you get the attack through. But you're playing Benji, the attacks want to go through most of the time, and just you can't be afraid. And Benji is that deck. You go hard or you go home. And then this is the rest of my no rune for Wizard. So and also Tide Flippers, which I think is a really great ninja equipment from Uprising. And also it gives all 2LS base attack go again when you pop it for that target attack action card. So any of my target attack action cards and where it didn't get to go again from another effect, or it doesn't have it naturally, then I can pop this in clutch to keep the chain going if needs be, or if things go south, just in case. And I just have a Zen State token because I'm running Fine Center. And a Zensei token is really nice because it ends up reading one balance counter on it, and then so it'll stay out for 2 turns, and if you ever to land the combo, you'll be able to prevent 1 damage from anything that does damage to you on your opponent's turn for 2 turns, which is really great. When I've got it out, those times really saved me a whole bunch of life over the course of those 2 turns, and just really an amazing card. So that's just a token that I just keep around just in case I need it. And Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. I haven't got a chance to try Mask of Momentum and Benji. When I do get one, I'll give it a shot, but I really like Mask of the Pouncing Lynx. When you attack, you destroy it, and you get to search your deck for a 2 or less, and you banish it, and then you can play it this turn. And most of the time, I'm searching for the Spring Titans, of course. Everyone knows that. And or just anything you might need. You want to come in with Salt the Wound, or maybe you want to get Fine Center to follow up your Crane Dance. It's whatever floats your boat. All right, so here's the rest of my deck. And I'll go over it card by card. I didn't, it's not ordered, but that's fine. We'll just put the doubles when they come in. So here's Head Jab, Go Again 1. It's pretty simple. It does everything that you wanted to do in a Benji deck. It's blue 3, so you could pitch, and then it has the pitch, for you want to throw Kadachi, throw Zephyr Needle, or I have Twin Twisters in here. I have Razor Reflex, and I have Brandish, and they all take 1, so you could really organize your turn around if you're going to play these cards or not, if you have them, and how you want to play them with the resources you have. And coming in for 1, and if you were to hit and you play this in, it will come in for 2 on Benji. So if they don't block with equipment or defense react from Arsenal, you're always going to come in with this and mostly going to hit. And I know the defense is kind of low. It's 2, but that's more than enough most of the time. But I feel like most of the time I'm really pitching this card, if anything. But if I could come in with it for free, then I'll use that too. So it's super versatile, of course. And then here's one of the key cards to the deck, Spring Titans, and all your 2 or less base cards, such as Head Jab. If they were on the chain, you get to draw a card from it, and that's just great. Most of the time it's going to get blocked out, which I don't mind. You could set it up in which you could, pop links, get Spring Titans, and if you have another Spring Titans, or if you have an attack reaction in hand, such as Ancestral Empowerment or Razor Reflex, you could get over whatever they're defending against. It's just, you also have to be careful, because as soon as it goes to 3 or more, then they could block with defense reactions from hand. And Oasis Respite is out now, so they could stop that too with Oasis. Or they'll overblock just to make sure if they suspect you have an attack reaction in hand, so you just don't get it off. But it's fine. You throw this to eat the armor, to eat the blocks. If you can draw from it, it's not the end of the world. You just keep it pushing, and you keep playing. I know the other Benji was playing Memorial Ground, and he used that on me, and he brought the Spring Titans back, and I got destroyed that game. That was pretty good tech. I don't have Memorial Ground in this. I haven't got around to really play testing it as I would like, but in the future, sure, I'll give it a go and see how I like it more. Just if they thought my Spring Titans were gone, it's like, no, they're coming right back. They're right back on top of my deck, and you used all your armor, so I know it's coming in for free. So here's 10 Twisters. I run blue and I run yellow, and they have the ability to, when it hits, the next attack on the combat chain give +1, or you could give Twin Twisters +1. So you can either come in Twin Twisters for 2, or you can have your Twin Twister if it hits for 1, and now Benji's effect is live. Your Zephyr Needle can come in for 4. So unless they have a block 5 defense or more, you know, which Prism will have, you know, the Soul Shield for 6, and you know the Guardians will have, I think it's Staunch Defense, which is like 5. I'm not sure. But typically, you'll see Fate Foreseen, a Sink Below, or anything like that, and like, you know, good. You know, it's a card from hand, which I learned you have to figure out a way to get out cards from hand with Benji. And so that's Twin Twisters, and Double Strike, another Uprising card, super fantastic. You know, you get those 2 hits really come in handy. It goes 1, and then you come in for 2, and really, really nasty. This card is phenomenal. And there's Promise of Plenty, which I run the yellows and the blues, and they really are just like, you know, turn extenders. And especially if you give them Go Again, they'll put, you know, if it is able to hit, something really nice in your arsenal. And your opponent might or might not have an arsenal, but most of the time, like, I'm never worried if my opponent is able to get a card, or you know, and like the 2, and it's being a 2 and a 0, and the blues being a 3-pitch and a 0, you know, they come in for the resource requirement to meet Kadachi, and of course Zephyr Needle, and if you have the Razor Reflex to pay for it as well. So yeah, super versatile call all around. I'm really liking it. And here's Crane Dance. I don't get the combo off. It's not really a combo focused deck. As you see, I don't run Breeze Rider boots, and you know that's fine. Like, but Crane Dance really meets all the requirements that I'm looking for right now. I haven't found anything else to replace it. You know, it's a pitch 3, 0, block 3, and it comes in for 1. And you know, if you just so happen to do the combo off, it could come in, if it's right after Soul Beat Strike, and Soul Beat Strike was the first one, then plus Benji, plus this. Also, and if you had Tiger Strike, you will come in for 4, and that's not something you want. So it's you really gotta, you know, play it smart. Most of the time I'm pitching this, or I'm blocking with it, and if it comes down to the wire, then you know I could play it without, you know, any fear of it getting gaining attack that it doesn't need to gain. Sexual Empowerment, great card. Gets +1 to a ninja attack action card. Gotta be careful because not all cards in the deck are ninja attack actions. Like Promise of Plenty is generic attack action, which it won't be able to be used on it, but most of the deck is ninja attack action cards, so you're not too worried. Also, Razor Reflex, it will give cards if they're able to hit +3 and Go Again, which it really comes in handy for, you know, all the cards that don't have Go Again, such as, you know, Crane Dance, Promise of Plenty, and others that I have in the deck. Really good to come in with it if they try to block out your Spring Titans just enough, and then you could play this in the attack reaction, and hopefully they don't got a defense reaction. And if they do, then oh well, you know, that's one defense reaction down to another card from their hand, and they use their armor. So I don't see anything wrong with a Razor Reflex with them blocking out. So also run Brandish in addition to the Twin Twister to give my weapons +1. And this is to, you know, protect Needle. Most cards are block 3. So as long as Needle is coming in for 3, then it's really good. You know, most of the time I love it to come in for 4. But Brandish will do what Twin Twisters does as well. And, you know, if it's the first one, and then Benji's going to pump it up to 4 as well. So, which is really good. And also, like I said, you know, it's not... it won't give Kadachi's go again when you pitch it, but it's still pitch 3 blue, which is nice. Snatch here, hits, draw a card, and if you're unable to give it a go again or raise reflex, you can break the Tide Flippers, or I like coming in with Ride the Tailwind, then playing a Snatch if that hits to give it, you know, go again without having to use the other 2 options. You know, same thing with Soul Beat Strike. If it hits, it'll get go again. So sometimes it'll be blocked. Most of the time, have it been blocked when I played it? It hasn't, which I think I really did a move in which it was really risky, but I came in with Soul Beat Strike, and if it was blocked out, I could not continue my turn as much as I wanted. I would have probably had to had used my Tide Flippers early, because I wanted to draw as much as I could off of banished Spring Titans. So I did that risky play. Next time I won't probably do it as risky in the future, but you know, it worked out in my favor towards the end. But like, they never know if, you know, this is going to be the end of the chain or not. So if you go out with a Soul Beat Strike and it hits, then good for you. And if you're able to do a Crane Dance to follow up with it, even better. So more Brandish, more Twin Twisters. And the final end of that chain of combo with the Flying Center. Like I said, it's the same thing with Crane Dance. It's a 2 or lower, block 3, pitch 3. It's gonna, if it does work, it's great. You'll get the Zen State token. If not, it's mostly fills all the needs for the stats, which is really what you want. Salt the Wound, another great turn ender to come in for big damage if all your little attacks hit that turn. And it could start getting really high, in which, you know, they're forced to block out or forced to take a ton of damage. You know, like, what are you going to do? And it's Ride the Tailwind, where if it hits, your other cards, such as, like I said, Snatch, will get go again if it's 2 or less base. And it has natural go again, which is great. So I definitely like coming in with it. I don't like coming in with it and coming in with a second one of it, but like sometimes, like, you know, that's just how the hand is. But it's pretty great card in this deck. And then hit the Yellow Brandish, Yellow Pound Penty. Oh yeah, and White Pox, another card that came out in Uprising, and super great. Attack for 1. If it hits, they lose a life for each card in their hand. So because they're unable to block with cards in their hand, they typically have a full hand, and they'll lose up to 4 life most of the time. So this is another card that they'll have to block out, or they'll lose a lot of life. And so it definitely will get some armor if you use this, especially before you use the Spring Titans, which I think it's fantastic. And typically, like, you want to come in with this after Ride the Tailwind. So if Ride the Tailwind hits, you come in with this for 2, and because of Benji's effect. And great, you know, a 2 that they'll have to block. If they don't block, they'll lose 2, and then they'll lose up to 4 in hand. So it could really, it looks like a 1, but it could come in for like 6, or even more if you have attack reaction. Such as the Razor Reflex, the Ancestral Empowerment doesn't work on it. More Twin Twisters, more Ancestral Empowerment, Snatch, Head Jab, Brandish, Toby Strike, Other Promise of Plenty, Double Strike, Salt the Wound again. Oh, and I feel like I wasn't clear on Salt the Wound before, but Salt the Wound gains 1 for each attack that hits on the combat chain. So like I said, if you hit multiple times and come with Salt the Wound, it can get really high. Really high. So 6 plus whatever you hit with. I come with it for like 4, 6, 8. It really stacks, especially if they took a bunch of hits. There's other Spring Titans, the Vipox, the Flying Center, Ride, Head Jab, Razor Reflex, Ride the Tailwind, and Crane Dance. All right, so that's my Benji deck. I went 3-0 today. I faced, in the first round, Kano, and I brought AB4, the Needle, Lantern, Tide Flippers, No Ruin Robe, and Gloves. So that was my loadout. And the Mask of the Pouncing Lynx to get Spring Titans. The AB4 was really nice because I prevented, damage when I needed to, prevented any searching, prevented, Lesser Than Lava going off. It just really helped out in a pinch. And I was able to win that game pretty fast. And then the next game was pretty intense. It went down to the wire. It was versus Iyslander. I came in with the same loadout. They went first. I lost a die roll. I think I lost a die roll to Kano as well, and Kano also went first. But the Iyslander, it was a lot more difficult. There's a lot more thinking involved. I tried to push as much damage as I could early, but especially the Iyslander was playing Sink Belows, other defense reactions, and I had to just hold back from overextending because they had the ability to kill me as our life totals were going lower and lower, but they had to pop their Striders early on, which mitigated a lot of the power that they had in their deck. And then I had popped my Tide Flippers, so even though towards the end of the game I had AB3, it was just enough to beat out an Emerald Scolding for 4 and a Waning Moon coming in for 3. Just clutch that win. It was a really great game. It was a really great opponent. I'd love to play it again to see what I could do better. But and I thought I made a mistake going into it, bringing the AB4, and I was like, maybe I could have pushed for, maybe more resources with the Vessel the First Fist. But then if I would have popped Tide Flippers, then I only would have had AB2 at the end, and that would have killed me for sure. So yeah, I really like coming with AB4 versus Wizard. Maybe other metas don't have Wizards that play, but I feel like it's more. I know the sideboard or for the weapons and equipment is limited, and if anything, I could always drop Kadachi or a Zephyrnado to fill out the rest of my equipment with other stuff if other stuff comes out, or especially if I'm gonna run, like I said, Shuko instead of Breaking Scales. And then the last game was versus a Dash, and it was unfortunate. They never played Benji before, so they didn't know what to expect, but they did block out really well, as much as they could. And also, I felt like if I didn't go for pushing as much damage early as I could, if the game went longer, they would have started using the pistol to shoot me down and give it go again and shoot me again, and I can only block out so much for game. So like I said, really tough opponents today. I'm happy there was no Oldhim. I know my friend has an Oldhim deck that but another person is using it. But I do want to go against the Oldhim matchup because I did lose another tournament to an Oldhim. Oh, that specific Oldhim deck. And I know it's like unbeatable because, you know, they're coming with so much armor and the Okanos and the pummels. But, I mean, like, you still got to try. You got to figure out what works, what don't work. And plus, like, I took out Take the Tempo. I took out even bigger than that. I just felt like it just wasn't working for me in this deck. And I just want to thank you for your time, for watching this video if you have. And I hope you enjoyed my Benji deck. I'll put a link in the description. And hopefully next time I'll come in with a channel name and a better introduction and all that stuff. But like, no, this is my first video. I wanted to put it out there. I really wanted to start making flesh and blood content. And this is just the first of many. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day or night or weekend, whichever. Bye.